Good morning, Landers. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are ready for another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Purpose Show, where we talk all things starting, growing, and scaling a wildly profitable business through strategy, confidence, and intuition. If you've tuned in the past, hello again. And if this is your first time watching the show, welcome. Let me know that you're here. Um, I'm super excited to be here. I know I say this every week, but I really am. It's gotten to a point where I love doing this show no matter what. Um, no matter if I go to sleep late, no matter if I wake up late, no matter if I've had a rough week. Like, I really love being here because there's so much I have to share with you and show you and teach you around growing a successful coaching business. Obviously, there's so many branches to that. But anyway, today, I honestly think today is going to be one of the best live streams I've ever done because I have some of the best things to say that I don't think I've ever really talked about that much. Maybe with my one-on-one clients I have, but not on a public setting like this one. So if you're here live, let me know that you're live. And with that said, let's dive right in because I have three things I want to share with you, which are mistakes that I have made that have stopped me from growing my business. And you need to know them because the faster and the sooner that you know them, bonjour, Julie, welcome. Um, the faster that you know them, the easier it's going to be for you to avoid them. I have been getting a lot more personal with you guys here, and kind of sharing my mistakes and my successes and what has worked for me or what has worked for clients, more than just giving you like a to-do list of things that you need to be doing. Good morning. Okay, love that you guys are here. Love that. Um, because I think so many times you learn more that way. Um, let's see, what else do I have to say today before we begin? Oh, yeah, Rise Up. There's one more spot left for Rise Up, which is my 6-week one-on-one coaching program where you and I join forces, become business partners, help you move through all the internal and external stuff like strategic confidence, um, uh, content plan strategies, marketing plan, selling, growing your community, moving through your fears, doubts, and insecurities. You and I come together for 6 weeks, and we make all of that happen so that we can get you and your business, obviously making money, getting booking clients, and doing the things that you wanted to do. It's an amazing experience because it's what most new coaches need, right? Like they need that one-on-one custom support, but they don't want to commit to the 6-month program, to a longer container, or they are scared, or they're just not ready yet, right? So it's a great opportunity for you to get the one-on-one support that you need at a way lower price point, but still at the high touch level one-on-one experience that I offer all of my one-on-one clients. So if you want to see if that program is good for you, book a discovery call. And now that we got that out of the way, let's go to my first mistake. Mistake number one is this is so deep, okay? I hope you guys are like sitting down and letting this process. But mistake number one is trying to solve the wrong problem in your business, okay? So this is something that I honestly think everyone has done at one point or another. And this is something that we're probably going to still do until the end of our businesses because we're humans and we're flawed and we make mistakes. And sometimes it's really hard for us to catch things on our own, which is obviously why coaching is such a good experience because you have someone helping you catch the little flaws that you may encounter along the way. So when I say trying to solve the wrong problem, let me give you some specific examples. So I'm going to give you a real life example and then I'll give you business examples. Let's say that your sink is loaded with dirty dishes, right? Like you have like a pile of dirty dishes. It's been a crazy week and you just haven't been able to get to the dishes in like 3 days. So your dishwasher, like your sink is overflowing. An example of solving the wrong problem, that would be going to grab a mop to take care of that mess. Or that would be going online to buy a vacuum, right? Like, and we do that so much in business where we have this giant problem in front of us, but because we don't really want to tackle it, and because it feels overwhelming, and because we look at it and we're like, I'm scared. I really don't even want to get into that pile of dishes. We just go and do something else. And a lot of times this is very subconscious. Like we don't really think like, oh, I'm going to start mopping to avoid the big pile of dishes. We're just like, we don't even think about it. We just don't want to do it, right? So that's a kind of like a silly light example as to how we can solve the wrong problem in this in life. Now let me give you examples of this in business. I see this so often, right? So let's say that you need to work on your confidence, right? Like you spend every day, all day, lacking confidence, right? Like having a ton of fears, having a ton of doubt, having a ton of insecurity. A way that a lot of people solve the wrong problem around that is they go ahead and they buy courses, right? Like courses that teach them how to, I don't know, create a piece of content, or courses that teach them how to have an email campaign. And that's solving the wrong problem, right? Because we're trying to avoid the elephant of the room of like, it doesn't matter how much I learn, if I don't get out of my own way, then the business is not going to move forward. So that's another way in which people solve the wrong problem, right? Where they try to consume and digest information and learn more and hide behind learning and think that they're progressing, but really there's like a step before that that needs to be addressed, which is probably going to be the most uncomfortable one, right? Just kind of like the dishes, like it's probably going to be the most uncomfortable thing. But it's going to be the thing that you need to work on so that anything else that you do above that or beyond that actually works out, right? Another example in business of solving the wrong problem. Let's say you are not making a lot of sales. You're just in a phase in your business where you're maybe starting out, or it's just a time in your business where sales are not super abundant. A way to solve the wrong problem is to obsess over changing your website. Meaning, instead of creating a marketing plan, creating a launching strategy, creating a visibility strategy, enhancing your content, getting on the phone with people, sharing your programs, your services, instead of focusing on the problem that you have, you focus on creating your website or creating a graphic or writing your about me page, right? Like you're solving the wrong problem. And once you understand these mistakes, I have done this so many times. And I used to do it so much at the very beginning where I just solved the wrong problem. And that's why it kind of sometimes takes a while for things to pick up because we're solving the wrong problems in our business, right? We think that we need to focus on this, but really we need to focus on that. And when you do that, then you're just spending a lot of time, energy, and effort focusing on something that's not the thing that's going to help you get the result, right? Like, again, and just because I'm obviously obsessed with one on one coaching, that's one of the reasons why one on one coaching can be so helpful because someone that knows what the actual problem is and can help you catch that will help you strategize around that. So you're focusing on the thing that needs to be addressed, and that will help you get the result. Okay, so that was my mistake number one. Let me see if I can think of a specific personal example of how I solved the wrong problem. Well, I definitely did the course thing. At the beginning of my business, I obviously needed so much more than just a course, right? Like I needed um, visibility strategy. I needed to get out there. I needed to do the uncomfortable thing. And I definitely hid behind courses as well. I never really did the not getting one on one support. I always did that from the beginning. Thank goodness. I want to think of, oh, I have a good one. Okay. So there was a point in my business where I was kind of like in the middle, right? Like not a newbie, but not like a seasoned coach who's been at it for like years, like I am now. And I was in the middle, right? So, um, once you achieve a little bit of success in your business, what oftentimes happens is that you start kind of like wanting to spread out like really far and really deep. So let's say at that point I had probably booked a lot of clients, I have gotten booked out, right? Like I was starting to see some good momentum. So to me, oh my God, this is such a big mistake. To me, my next step, right, like the next problem I needed to solve was I needed to launch like group programs. I needed to launch more. I needed to go bigger. I needed to go wider. And then I started focusing on that, right? Like on creating a course and creating a program and doing this and doing that. But in reality, what I needed at that time, the problem that I needed to solve, which is usually the most uncomfortable one, was I needed team. Because as you grow and you start working with clients, you have less time and you have less capacity. So, in order to get to that next level, the first thing that you need to do once that capacity is tapped out is you want to hire a team. So, that was uncomfortable for me because hiring a team is scary. It always has been scary. And it's like, what if I don't make money one week and I can't pay them? Or what if I'm not a good leader? What if I can't train them? So I kept trying to solve the wrong problem by avoiding the team hiring process and trying to like create courses and create this and create that. And when I say this, it's not to say that you're never going to solve those wrong problems. It's just to say that you have to solve the right problem at the right time. So I'm not saying that you're never going to create a course. I'm not saying that you're never going to focus on your website. I'm not saying that you're never going to focus on expanding into a group coaching experience. I'm just saying that if we don't solve the right problems at the right time, it's going to be really hard for your business to grow. So if you're doing this solo, you want to take a step back and be like, what is my real problem right now? Like, what is the actual problem that I need to solve? And if you're here live, or even if you're watching the replay, maybe try answering that question in the comments, right? Like, what do you think is the real problem that you need to solve and why? Because once you have clarity around that, then it's amazing. Because now your number one job becomes, let's solve that problem. And instead of focusing on the problem itself, you focus on the solution because you're aware of where your attention needs to go to. Okay. Does this make sense so far? Give me some emojis. Tell me that it makes sense. Let me know if you have additional questions because we're about to go to mistake number 2, which is obsessing with the thought of people don't buy in or when. Okay. Even just the overall thought of like people don't buy. And this one is hard. This one is really hard. If you have experienced this mistake or this struggle or block or whatever you want to call it, you know that it's a hard thing to process. Trust me, been there, done that. I honestly think that I'm even talking about my clients, I'm talking about my colleagues. Like, I think everyone experiences this thought. But here's the thing, we can always find, our brains can always and will always find the reason as to why things will not work out. Okay. Um, when you are putting yourself out there and when you are pushing your business forward and when you're doing uncomfortable things, your brain automatically wants to go into like 100 reasons why it will not work just so that it keeps you safe, right? So the one thing that you need to understand about this mistake is like you will always find an answer for that question. It doesn't really matter what time of the year it is. It doesn't really matter what's going on in the world. Nothing matters. It doesn't matter how big your community is. It doesn't matter how many clients you booked. You will always be able to find an answer to that question, right? Like an answer to this specific thought. People don't buy in or when. So people don't buy in quarantine. People don't buy when my group is too small. People don't buy when it's the weekend. People don't buy in December. People don't like, we can always fill that in. And anyone can do it. We can always fill that in of like, people are not going to buy because people don't buy in, people don't buy when. That's something that can always get filled in. So, and it's normal. It's like a natural process of your brain saying, like, oh, wait, you're going to go out there and sell something? That's scary. What if you fail? What if you get hurt? What if you get disappointed? What if it doesn't work out? That's dangerous. Let me keep you safe and let me figure out a way to keep you from doing that, right? Let me figure out a way to keep you stuck and to keep you here safe. And your brain is like, okay, cool. So let's not do that because people are not going to buy, because this is not the right time, because things are not going to work out, because they haven't worked out in the past, so they're not going to work out now. So your brain is that's just the way it works for you, right? Like it wants to keep you safe, it wants to keep you here, right? let me do it like sideways because it's harder to see here. So you're here, your next client is here, right? When you start moving from here to your next client, that's uncomfortable. That's scary. That is unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to book. You don't know who's going to see which post. It's very scary. It's very dangerous to your brain. So it starts getting lit up and it starts telling you like, oh no, no, it's not going to work. Oh no, no, it's not the right time. Oh no, no, people are not going to buy. Oh no, no, you may get disappointed. So don't even bother, right? Like it's just not the right time. So I'm not saying this is ever going to go away. I don't even know if it has even fully gone away from me. I just think we need to get really, really good at navigating it, right? At being like, okay, awesome. This is what I always say. And it doesn't matter, right? Like, it really doesn't matter whether it's December or whether my group is small or whether, whether I've gotten 100 no's in a call. It doesn't matter. I want to grow my business. And the only way to do it is to keep moving forward towards what I need and what I want and the results that I'm trying to create. Okay. Obviously, there's so much more that I can say about this, but just catch yourself with that fallacy. Catch yourself. Every time you have it, catch yourself with the fallacy because it is a huge mistake that everyone makes. And let's just normalize that today. Everyone has experienced that. Everyone experiences that more often than you think. These mistakes are not unique. They are not anything like extraordinary that only you experience or that I've experienced. They're just universal. Everyone is struggling with them at some point or another. It's not about never struggling with them. It's just about, my headphone's going backwards. It's just about getting really good at catching them and shifting them, catching them and shifting them. So much in business is about catching it and shifting it rather than never experiencing it. I think one of the biggest gifts I've given myself is to not try to be perfect and not try to be like this perfect human being who is never scared and who never doubts herself and who never encounters a difficulty. Like when I can get into the idea of like, you know what, sometimes this sucks and sometimes it's really amazing and that's okay. I'm just really good at navigating the times that it sucks and it's hard. And I have tools, resources, and a support team in place in consistent action to help me through that. It's been so much easier because now I don't have this like wrong idea of like, well, I just need to be this perfect robot who never has any blocks or makes any mistakes at all, right? So give yourself that permission. All right, let's see. Okay, it's making sense. Mistake number 2 sounds really familiar. They are so universal. So universal. Like, I'm sure so many of you watching here now or watching the replay are going to see how universal these things are and how you probably have come across one, two, maybe all of them at different points in your business. Okay. Let's go to mistake number 3. And I think this is, I want to say it's my favorite one, but I really love them all. But I think this is my favorite one. It's trying to figure out the secret pill to success to avoid disappointment and discomfort. This is like deeper level stuff, guys. We're going like way deeper here today. Um, so let me explain this farther for you. So many times, tell me if you resonate with this. Drop me like an emoji if you do. So many times we look at other people, other coaches, other entrepreneurs, other people who have achieved success, and we're like, what do they have that I don't? Why were they able to figure this out and I haven't? I need to learn the magic pill. I need to learn the secret. I need to figure out what that thing is. What is that thing that's going to get me to that level of success? What is that thing that's going to finally make my business grow like it did for Maria or Rachel or whatever? Okay. And what you're doing with that is you are trying to figure out a way to grow and scale your business without feeling any kind of failure, any kind of disappointment, or any kind of discomfort. Okay? Because we look at other people. Yes, that's me at times. Beautiful. That's me at times too. So high five over there. Virtual high five. Okay, so We look at other people and we're like, how did they do this? How can I do this? Why can I do this? And how can I do it without feeling any type of disappointment, discomfort, or pain? Right? Like we just look at people who are maybe farther ahead or who have created maybe like the business model that we want or whatever. We just start comparing. It's such a normal thing. Like we compare as human beings, and we definitely compare as business owners in the online world because other people's businesses are always in our face. If you had a store, I always give this example to my clients. If you had a store, like a brick and mortar store, the amount of time that you would spend comparing yourself to your competition would be so much less because you're in your store, you're focused on your store, you're focused on organizing your products and ordering your products and creating a banner and whatever, calling up local magazines to get your store out there. Like you're so much more focused in your business than in the online world. That's one of the biggest, I think, one of the biggest differences in the online world where it's like we are in each other's businesses all the time, 24/7. You are getting messages from coaches that you like. You are getting messages from people you don't even know you signed up to their mailing list. You are seeing people's success, especially business coaches. That's a really big marketing tactic. You want to share people's success and stuff like that. So you have all of that information bombarded in your face at all times. So it's really easy to go and compare yourself and be like, how do I do this? What's the magic pill? What's the secret? And that can easily go into solving the wrong problem, right? Because then someone that you look up to, they're like, this is the secret. And you're like, okay, cool, let me go take that course and figure out the secret. But let me tell you something that probably not a lot of coaches will tell you. There is no secret to success. There is just a ton of consistent action, a ton of failure, discomfort, and disappointment along the way that eventually leads to the success stories that you see. Make sense? Let me try to give you an example. So, have you ever hopped on a sales call with someone that you wanted to work with and said no? And said, like, yeah, cool, awesome. I really love this, but I don't have the money right now. You probably have, right? Like, most people probably have done that. And that person that you look up to, right? Like, that person that you look up to that you're like, how did she get there? The truth is that that person is experiencing the same discomfort and the same disappointment that you're experiencing when you get a no on a call. They're not they're not like unhuman. They it's not like they don't have emotions. It's not like they don't have failures. It's not like they don't hop on a few calls and those calls don't convert. It's not like they never get no's. It's not like there are things that are not hard for them, right? There's really no magic pill. Like we're trying to run our businesses by avoiding our human experience, right? Like what we want to do is we want to grow a business and be like, this is perfect and rainbows and butterflies, and it never feels hard and it never feels bad and I never feel discomfort and I never feel disappointment. And, that's why I'm successful. That's just not the way it is because we are humans running a business, which means that as we grow that business, we are going to experience discomfort and disappointment. It's just part of the process. So, this is such a big mistake and such a deep level thing, right? Like, again, I typically don't go into this stuff unless you're a one on one client because it's such deep work. But I think opening up the awareness to it is going to help you so much in your journey. Um, but when you can say, like, awesome, well, not awesome, but like, this sucks, but awesome that I'm aware of it. There is no secret. There's just a lot of pushing forward, making mistakes, pushing forward, failing, pushing forward, getting a no, pushing forward, getting booked out. Make sense? It's not like I did all of this, put it out there, everything happened magically. I never got any disappointment. I never got any no's. I never got any discomfort. I never got any fear or failure or anything. And it all worked out magically. That's just not how it happens. There is no secret. What we're trying to find, it's like we're not even trying to find the secret. We are trying to find the secret to achieving what we want without feeling any kind of disappointment or discomfort or failure. which is the complete opposite of what business is. Business is all about growth through disappointment and failure, right? Like there are going to be so many times when things do not work out the way that you want them to in your business. That does not mean that you're not going to build a multiple six figure business. That just means that it is part of the process and it sucks, right? And we just have to get really comfortable with the idea of like, this is normal, this is going to happen. It sucks. I'm going to process it and get really good at moving through it so I can get back up and keep going. Get back up and keep going. Does that make sense? This one's the hard one to like swallow. It's a hard one to swallow because we have to come to the understanding that we are human beings living a human experience, which means that we are going to get sad, which means that we are going to get scared, which means that we are going to feel frustrated at times in our business because we're human beings. We can't take away our emotions. If we took away our emotions, then we wouldn't be human beings. We would be robots. And then, yeah, it would definitely be easier to build a business if you're just programmed to not feel anything along the way. But that's just not the way it works. You're a human. You're going to have emotions. Not going to feel good all the time. Life is 50% feeling good and great and amazing, and then 50% not feeling so good and great and amazing, right? Like there are amazing highs and there are really crappy lows. And everyone has them. All those people that you look up to, all those people that you compare yourself to, I promise you, I come from a family of like that likes to gamble, so I'm not going to do this, but I could gamble and bet money that any single person that you follow or that you look up to or that you compare to and you're like, what's your secret? I promise you that they are experiencing disappointment and discomfort and failure on a day to day basis. I promise you. If you read anyone's autobiography, if you read anyone's story, right? Like it doesn't matter who it is, they will always talk about all the times that they failed. And they will always talk about all the things that they wanted but didn't work out. But how taking one step after the other took them exactly where they are right now. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't see the step before they step and they just think like, what's the magic pill to get there? And then when those individuals talk about it, we're like, well, the magic pill is to keep going, solve the right problem, stop obsessing with it's not going to work until you get there. That's the magic pill. Um, yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I think this is deep stuff. I think it's gonna take some time for it to sink in, and it's definitely going to take some time for you to embrace it and normalize it and get used to it and get good at it. I mean, it's definitely something I'm constantly working on. I mean, I've been in business for like over 6 years and I still work with coaches because concepts like this are so hard to master once and for all. Like, it usually doesn't work like that. It usually works like you process it, you move through it, you get good at it, you achieve some stuff, and then things like this come up again because we are human. So I hope this gives you a new sense of awareness. I also hope it normalizes so many things for you in your business so you don't feel like you're flawed or something's wrong with you or nothing like that, right? Like we are all going through the same journey. A lot of coaches will not talk about this. A lot of business coaches will leave this out. Why? Because it's not sexy. It's not sexy to say in your marketing or your brand to say, like, hey, this is the truth of entrepreneurship, and that's okay. We can still make it happen together. It's so much sexier to say, like, hey, I'm here. I made all of this happen, and it was great and perfect, and nothing bad ever happened. And, it's just an amazing journey, and nothing bad is ever going to happen to you. You're never going to feel anything negative. You're never going to get scared. If you just follow my process, then it's just going to work, period, end of story. That's so much sexier, right? Like that's so much more like, cool, sign me up. You mean I don't have to feel disappointment or discomfort? You mean that you're going to give me the secret to not experiencing the full spectrum of being a business owner? I'm in. It's really easy to sell that, and it's really sexier. Like it's like a lot sexier in your marketing to be like, let me help you avoid every pain that comes with building a successful business. A lot of coaches won't talk about this, because of that. For me, it's the opposite. For me, it's like I want to normalize it and I want to let you know that even though these mistakes are common, even though these things do happen to almost everyone, you are normal and you can also still build wild success, right? Like these things can be present in your world and you can simultaneously also be booking clients and making money and growing your business and growing your community and all of the things, right? Um, yeah, I think to me it's just such a disservice to not dive into these things, which is why I'm willing to get here and vulnerable and teach you guys all of this because it is a huge part of growing a profitable online coaching business or service-based business. All right. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know what your biggest insights are. Let me know which one resonated with you the most. Give me all the stuff. I always love coming back here, hanging out with you guys in the comments. I know a lot of people watch the replay, so you're watching the replay and you're one of my replay players. Love you. Thank you for doing that every Monday. And yeah, I will see you next Monday with another episode of the Business Breakthrough with Barbara Show, 10 a.m. Eastern. Set your calendars, set your reminders. We are here all the time helping you start, grow, and scale your online based profitable business. If you want that high touch, custom tailor one-on-one coaching support because you are ready to get to the next level, definitely sign up to a discovery call for Rise Up because it will change the way that you do business forever. Have an amazing rest of your week, guys, and obviously I will be hanging out with you guys in the group as always. Bye everyone. Thank you for being here.